Welcome back to the 12th man. Delighted to have the Magic Man back with us, Zach Lyttle, to talk all things the European Super League. Obviously, it was on yesterday. Had a lot of chat with loads of these. So another day, more news has come out. We've seen more chairmen coming out from different teams and absolutely hammering these big six teams. So we're going to be chatting loads about it. Zach, going to be interested to hear your thoughts. We're also going to be looking back at that game last night, how it felt. Did it feel like it was that when Liverpool conceded that goal, then did it feel like their top four hopes were gone, or did it just feel that no one really knows what's happening with what's going on? And we're also going to be talking about Ryan Mason being appointed as Spurs interim head coach, and can he lead Spurs to glory on Sunday in the cup final? He's on 350 grand a week, and he's literally doing live streams on Twitter during a game like it's embarrassing.
It's madness, like, so much pleasure out there getting 350 grand a week, like, not even
so only one quick start for me. Like Sunday, the one on Saturday. My opinion is like the game every Welcome back to you, Zach. It's been a fair few weeks since I had you on. Obviously one of the most main men on here. You've brought on quite a lot since it started. Big supporter, and people love hearing what you say because you never hold back. You always call it how it is. Well, it's United, Liverpool, or any other team. So I'm delighted to have you in for the Super League chat. But before we start, obviously, you're over in Liverpool at the minute, so you're loving life and all these beer gardens open and stuff. We're still stuck on site over here. How's that going?
Well, it gets a wee bit repetitive after a while, like, but no, I'll take a wee break now and then go back at it on the weekends. So that's all really good.
What can I say? Here's Kevin straight on, loving the cap. I haven't seen that cap before. You're on your summer holidays over there, but
the sun's shining.
You're obviously over in Liverpool at the moment. Before we start, obviously, Liverpool have been one of the most, they've put quite a lot of resistance up to the Super League stuff. You've seen the banners outside the stadium yesterday. You've seen they were taking the flags down inside the club and stuff. Have you been out and about or anything? Has it been talked about quite a lot in the street over there and stuff, and in the public and the beer gardens? Is it a massive topic?
No, in Sunday, wasn't it?
Aye.
No, well, I haven't really heard much yet about it. Like, I haven't really been on the bar since Sunday to hear what the chat is about it. But I've seen them banners now outside Anfield, which is a big change considering the other night, like when they were playing Real Madrid, like the crowds were out and waiting on the buses coming on, and like I wouldn't say they would have been that crowd if that announcement had been made a wee bit earlier.
100%. We've seen the crowd outside Leeds game last night as well, and obviously that they've seen Leeds wearing t-shirts, the footballs, all about the fans and stuff, and not surprising Liverpool didn't wear them. But you seen last night with Klopp as well. He did say that he said he didn't like the idea of the Super League, and he's never supported anything like it. But he wouldn't go as far as they completely condemn it and say that he would have no part in it. So do you think that some of these managers and players, for example, they can't really be blamed too much because they are under contract, they're employees. At the end of the day, it's above and beyond what these owners have done. So you can't really expect them to be, because if they come out and really hammer their bosses, they're going to be sacked on the spot, aren't
they? Well, that's it. As you say, Gary, they're employees at the end of the day, and football is becoming more of a business run sort of. But I just don't agree with it all, and I do agree with what Klopp came out and says. Like I don't have anything against what he says. I don't understand why him and Gary Neville's even having like a wee bit of a jab at each other, because at the end of the day, everybody's in the same boat. I don't think anybody wants it for football, really.
Yeah, 100%, Ryan. That's what's going to happen. Any all 14 clubs are going to wear them. And hey, rightly or wrongly, as I said, there's two ways you can look at this. No one agrees with what's happened, but at the same time, I've seen Everton's statement today about their chairman Mashiri's come out and really hammered top 6 teams. But as an argument, they say that Everton are just not really, really upset that they've been left out of it. And if they had been offered a place in it, they would have accepted it. Do you think Everton would have turned it down? Do you think any of these other teams would have turned it down?
I don't know. Well, see, going off now, obviously the reaction that I got, I don't think any team would want to be a part of it. I can't see it really going forward. And if it does go forward, I will stop watching football. Like I will be entertaining that there. Like, and I don't really think it's like I wouldn't really put Manchester United, Spurs, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. I wouldn't put all them in that bracket. These are the owners at the end of the day. That's not Manchester United for me. Like that's the Glazers. Like it's not the fans. That's not what the football teams are about. I don't think any other teams. I think any other teams fan base is on the same boat. So when they're mentioning I can understand Gary Neville knows frustrations, but I think it's more to do with the owners, and I don't think you should be naming the actual clubs. And it's more to do with the owners than me. Gary, really pay heed too much. I don't think it's 100%. Manchester United. I think it's the Glazers. Do you know what I mean?
I think Gallagher made that point last night. He said, this isn't Liverpool, this is John Henry, this isn't Manchester United, it's the Glazers, this isn't Arsenal, it's Kroenke, and so on. So he was making that point. First question I sort of want to ask you, right, is we've sort of had 2 days of this now, and the pressure seems to be getting greater and greater. Like this morning, it seems to be really, the Premier League have had a meeting now, the R14 clubs, Sefrin's come out from the UEFA, FIFA have come out today, Infantino, I think he called him, and they've all made really condemning statements. Do you think that the clubs will be able to withstand the pressure on them by the fans, by the media, by everyone else in football? Do you think they'll be able to do it?
No, I just can't see it going forward. And for the Premier League too, like all due to say, but they need 10 teams in the Premier League for the Premier League to survive. So I don't know what sort of punishment you give them really, because if you're going to punish them and pick them out of the league again, they may as well go on that European Super League. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. All sort of going down. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I know that's right. Go ahead.
It started going downhill since VAR left. VAR, come on, leave football the way it is. People want to change what doesn't need changed. 100%. There seems to be everything now we want to change. You go back to goal line technology coming on. I thought that was quite good. The VAR hasn't really worked. It's caused more friction between fans, referees, coaches, disconnecting from the game. You can't really celebrate goals anymore because you're worried about somebody's fingernail or toenail being offside. It's madness. Teams and clubs have become under pressure. But what I don't think is fair, as we've seen last night, Klopp's put under massive pressure in that press conference. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Arteta on Sunday, they were put under pressure. You're going to have Ryan Mason doing his first press conference as a young manager, going to be asked questions. Really they should be asking these owners questions. But the problem is that they're not going to come forward and talk about it. They're quite happy to release statements from behind closed doors, and that'll be the end of it.
Well, as the face of the football club itself, like Solskjaer, Klopp, Arteta, Ryan Mason, and all, I think no, I don't have a problem with Eamon's answering on it, but they should be given they should be given their right answer to say, they not told what they say. You can understand it, because at the end of the day, they are employees. Obviously, they're going to have a different stance on it. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to have the same stance as what the owners had. Because I can guarantee, Solskjaer's a club
Aside,
man through
this
and
is the
through. Like,
thing
and
too. What? Yeah.
go
This
ahead.
is the thing too, Zach. What they say and what they actually think are two completely different things. What they say, so
Exactly.
they might actually really, really be against the idea. They might really want to hammer. They might really want to hammer the owners, but they can't really
Mm.
do it. They might just say, "Oh, I don't really agree with it," but if this is the way it's going to be, then this is the way it's going to be. But they
Mm.
might actually be thinking this is an absolute disgrace. Along the lines of Gary Neville and Carragher, but obviously they can't say it because they're under contract by their team. So I heard a lot of people this week saying, "Will Klopp resign? Will our managers resign?" I don't see that happening because if they resign, they resign, and football will go on with one man or two men. There is ways to take a stand, as we said yesterday about protests and stuff. I don't think managers resigning unless they all resigned, and they all walked away completely, every club.
Mm.
But I don't think that's going
Mm.
to happen. I think one manager resigning, they'll just go and get another manager, and that's just the cruel world of football. So I think Klopp knows that, and I think that's why he said last night he wouldn't be resigning no matter what happens.
Mm.
So I think he kills that. It kills that argument, but it's just going to be interesting now to see what happens because Zach, according to the rules, according to the laws in the Premier League, that if they join this one away league, then they will be kicked out of every other competition. But say they don't turn back on it and they do proceed with it, and they say, look, you might not like it, but we're going to go ahead and form it with these are top teams.
Mm.
Do you think that the Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, not Bundesliga, Serie A, will backtrack and let them back in?
Well, I haven't really read on it much. I know the European Super League, so I don't really know the format when the matches take place or anything like that there. But
It's gonna be midweek.
today then league midweek.
Yeah,
Well, like the way I see it is, how's like the fans, like how's the fans going to get them away matches? Like, I don't know I don't know how it makes money, how it makes sense. Like they're talking about all this money being pumped in, but I don't know how it makes money because the reaction that it's got them on it, like they're gonna see sales and revenue and all go down. Like, because I think people will start boycotting. Do you know what I mean?
You say that too, and there is a possibility that could happen. Because fans are really, really. I've never seen football so united on one piece of. This is actually, it's actually quite sad because if you look at all the racism and stuff, yes, there was massive outcry, but there wasn't this joint effort to try and stop it. Whereas, so it shows you there's a conflict of interest when there are some people that don't really give a shit what's happening with the racism and stuff, and the Instagram, Twitter, players getting abused and stuff. But when it comes to this now, everybody seems to be trying to pull together. But the one thing I would say on it is that a lot of people didn't like the Premier League being set up. I think Carragher spoke about it last night. The Premier League effectively started a breakaway in 1982. All right, it changed football for the better, but at the time, nobody liked it. Nobody liked the idea of the Premier League doing that. And the Champions League being turned from the European Champions Cup into the Champions League, people didn't like that either. People thought that the European Cup should only be teams that won their league, and now it stretched down to the top four. So people didn't like that either, and there was no boycott of that. And I do understand this is a bit different, and the fact that people are morally, it's not right in terms of there's no qualification for most of the teams in it. It's only going to be 5 places, but they are 12 or 15 teams are going to be in it every single year, no matter where they finish in their league. So that's not right. But do you not think that if it does end up going through over time, people will just not maybe reluctantly get behind it and say, well, do you know what? United are playing Real Madrid tonight. I want to watch it.
But you see, that's what I'm saying. If they take a stand before it even gets to that stage, it'll never happen. Like, because how football's nothing without fans. So if like the fans need to take a stand and just like if they are going to boycott every single team, all the supporters, they all need to stand behind it and just start boycotting, stop buying t-shirts and shirts, stop
My
going to
con-
matches, stop their season tickets, everything. Like, it's just
my
everything
concern,
needs to happen.
my concern, Zach, right,
Mm.
is that we might all feel that way here in the UK and Ireland, but I'm not so sure they'll feel the same in America and the same in Asia. I think they'll be loving this. The fact they're going to get all these big teams playing each other constantly. I even heard a rumor this morning, it's just a rumor, that some of these games might be at neutral venues. They might be in Singapore, Asia, America. So again, it might make it very hard for us to watch it because the games could be on at ridiculous times of the night. They could be on at 3 or 4 in the morning. But the audiences across the world might be loving it. So this is my worry that all these owners, most of them are American owners as well. This could go the same way as NFL, and there could be branded. Sport could be completely branded. They could turn it into a complete, You've seen the Super Bowl the way that's done. This could be done something similar where it's completely just controversially turned into like big money making scheme for it. And you look at them adverts during the Super Bowl, how much it is to get on them and stuff. This could go the same way, and if we're not careful, but I think this audience could be targeted outside of the UK more than anything. There's massive outcry here about it, but I'm not so sure these other countries I'll be feeling the same. I don't know how you feel about that. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know, Gary. Hey, I just fucked off with it, to be honest. Sorry for cursing, but I just like 20 point a match and all. Like, what's that about? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like buzzing enough
Yeah.
that they pay Sky and Big T lift, and now you're gonna have to start paying 15 to 20 point a match. Like, I just can't see. I just don't know how they're gonna work it. And then like, what like, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't
Zach,
know. Like, what?
just to be clear, I feel very similar to you. I'm just trying to give you the other side of it, how it might be, not so much that I agree with, how it might be being perceived across our countries, especially that the American side, the Australia side, Middle East, Asia, how they all feel about it. They might be loving it. Obviously, we don't know, but just on speculation, this could be this could be a big plan that they're going to completely revamp football on that side of the world. Because the UK hasn't got the numbers of all these other countries. Asia's massive, America's massive. You look at all them continents. Kevin McCluskey saying that Super League is not football. Absolute disgrace. If this goes ahead, football as we know it will be gone. Completely agree. Ryan Hamilton saying Harry Maguire and 3 hour players went to Ed Woodward for putting them in the firing line and not saying nothing when they played that match the other night. What do you think about that, Ryan? Obviously that's come out this morning. Oh, sorry, Zach, that's obviously come out this morning. I'll let you answer that one. What do you think? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, seen that today. I'm pretty happy because Maguire, like, he's not normally one day go. He's not really one really. He doesn't really show in my eyes like captain characters like. But fair play to him if he went and done that. That's what he's probably thinking. They were just thrown under the bus there, and had they come out and confronted, like, which they shouldn't have been, because at the end of the day they're going out there and then whatever they say is not going to be right. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be getting pelters in from the fans. You know what I mean? And they're getting that there because of Ed Woodward's decisions. Like, so,
Yeah, it's
I'm
interesting.
happy enough. Like.
Yeah, it's interesting. In 2 days, we've seen Milner last night, and Klopp said he didn't like it, but they didn't go as far to completely, go overboard. And you just wonder if all these players under contract, as they've probably all been warned already that they can't can't go on social media and can't give a massive, they can't come out and say exactly what they feel on it. Because there's bound to be loads of them players that are worried at the moment. Will we not be able to play international football? Are we not going to be playing Premier League football? We're only going to be playing in the Super League if this goes ahead and stuff. So it's like any business. I mean, if you're under contract, there's going to be clauses on there, and you have to be very careful what they say. Callum saying you can have positive arguments for a 92 revamp and the new UCL. ASL has none. The 92 revamp at the time, obviously we weren't alive, but from what you read about it at the time, people were not happy about it, Callum. There wasn't too much, people thought it was ruining football. People thought at the time Sky Sports were ruining football. Now all of a sudden, Sky's being the judge and juror when it comes to this new Super League. And I think Carragher they made that point last night that, they were involved in that breakaway. So it's very hypocritical for them just to completely condemn it. Although, as I say, there's a lot more to this one, and there is a lot more concern for fans, and I do agree with that, Callum. The only thing I would say about that new Champions League format is I don't like it at all. I think it's actually worse than the one we have now. More teams, more games. Why should we have a 36-team tournament? It's supposed to be the elite teams. It's supposed to be the best teams in the world. But why would you have 36 teams in there? Zach, I want to ask you at the minute. See the Champions League as it is, and this new one that's coming out in 2024. Do you think they really need to look on that although the Super League isn't the way forward, it does put UEFA in a situation where they really need to reconsider a tournament to get the best teams playing the best teams more often?
I actually feel a wee bit and know the Champions League format now at the minute. I actually feel about pity for Celtic and Rangers, because if they won the league, they're champions of that league, and then they still have to go through 3 or 4 rounds of qualifying just to get in that Champions League. And if you won your domestic league, I think you should be just straight on it. Because that's what it's about. Like, it's champions of Europe. Why shouldn't Celtic and Rangers just go straight on that Champions League? Like, they have to go through.
That was the case years and years ago in the European Cup, right? And that's why you seen actually Nottingham Forest won it and stuff. But at Celtic, 1967, wasn't it? But the problem now is that Scotland don't have the kind of money that these are top leagues have. So if you let Celtic in, fair enough. But where do you draw the line? You have to let every domestic League One in. You have to let Dundalk in right into the group stages or Shamrock Rovers. And realistically, if they come up against the Man City, they're going to get absolutely ripped apart 9 times out of 10. So again, it's going to create that meaningless thing. The only way for that to happen, I think, for all major leagues to be allowed to be in it, just one team, is if they completely stopped all the money and made it even, which isn't going to happen. So I think we're past that point now where we can have that happening. But I think what we can do is you can still have a similar format with the top 4. Only 4 teams in England getting in. But you'd have less teams involved in there. So I think you should more qualify. I know it's not fair, but Celtic and Rangers, realistically, they probably still have to qualify to get into it, because if you just let them straight in, I know Celtic and Rangers fans won't like it. They're more than likely they're going to find it tough. Celtic and Rangers fans, the majority of them will understand that the Europa League's probably their level. They sometimes they get knocked out in the group stages, sometimes they make it past the group stages in the Europa League. I can't think the last time Celtic or Rangers made it to the last 16 of the Champions League. It's not been done for a long time. And you just feel with the money involved in these other leagues, it's becoming more and more difficult for them. It's not fair. I agree, but it's not fair. Do you know what I mean?
But if they got on the Champions League, would they not get more money? Like if they qualified straight on the Champions League, would they not get more money? Like Celtic and Rangers?
Zach, of course they would. But at the same time, how are they going to attract players? Because they all want to play in the big leagues. They all want to. Do you know what I mean?
Players want to play in the big leagues, but if Celtic and Rangers would be a bigger attraction if they were in the Champions League every year. Do you know what I mean? And they would have the money to pay.
I think they would. There's no doubt to be a bigger attraction, but the problem is, will players only feel it for 6 games? Do they actually feel you have a realistic chance of winning the Champions League with Celtic? Do they feel you have a realistic chance of going far in it, or do they feel it the majority of the season are going to be playing in the Scottish League? And that's the problem. And I don't agree with it. I think that the money has made these other leagues less appealing. You look at the Scottish League; it's tarnished since that. I talked about Anderlecht, like in the 1984 final. Belgium, when have they produced a team that's got to the latter stages of the Champions League? Ajax were an exception a couple of years ago, but before that, the Dutch teams have really struggled to make it past these leagues. So this is the problem, that all these, as I said, when was the last? I think somebody said Porto were the last team outside the top 3, England, Spain, and Germany. They have a team they won the Champions League, and that was 2003, 2004, I think. So a long time since we've had somebody outside them big 3 leagues winning it. And if you look at it since, the majority of them finals have been them top 3 teams. PSG getting there last year, first time a French team's made a final in a long time. So the problem we have is that these top leagues now completely run football, and it's very difficult for these other leagues to get teams anywhere near these final stages. So the Champions League can't really go back to how it was years ago unless the money's divided equally, which won't happen. So I think they should shorten down the Champions League, make it onto 24 teams, and might make the Europa League a bit more competitive too. You might see, if there's maybe 8 teams coming into the Champions League, that wouldn't be in that normally, going to the Europa League and make it a bit more competitive. I don't know, but I don't agree as well. When you get knocked out of the Champions League, you could go straight into the Europa League, because you've been knocked out of one competition and you're going to another. I don't agree with that either, Zach.
No, I don't really agree with that too. To be honest, when I go when United went to the Champions League, I'd rather just go fucking straight out. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not going to complain now that we're progressing in the Europa League and we have a chance of winning silverware. But no, I agree with you. Definitely, I would agree with you.
I think that's the one thing that needs to come out of this, is if they all get around the table, the Super League gets scrapped, and and UEFA make the Champions League and the Europa League better competitions, make them more competitive. Because the problem is, I said, everyone was raving about that PSG and Bayern Munich game a couple of weeks ago with them 2 games, and they were class to watch. But why can we not get more of them games throughout the season? Why are we having to wait till April to get games like that? Why can them games not be happening from September, where you make the groups, where you make less teams involved, make the groups more competitive? So you have maybe 2, you have 3, maybe even a 3-team group with 3 good sides on it, and they all play each other, and maybe the top 2 go through and stuff, and it'll make it far better. The owners are just worried, Gavin Brown, the owners are just worried that they're about securing their finances. The fact they didn't even consider with fans beforehand just screams how separated from reality they are. 100%, Gavin. There was no fan consultation. They just went ahead. They didn't care what the fans thought. I mean, Zach, you know football a long time, and every one of them would have knew there would have been massive outcry about this. They all would have knew what they were doing, wouldn't have been what the fans wanted. So the fact they just went ahead and did that, Zach, does that tell you they do not give one shit about what the fans think?
No, but I knew that anyway, Gary, because people can say United spend, but how is United? United just every year now, you're just seem to be happy to get top four, because if you get top four, you're getting the money, like you're in the Champions League, like, and United should, for the money Manchester United make, we should actually be spending a lot more money. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I, I just it's madness. But that's why I think, like, as you're saying there, that the fans weren't even given an option, like, know whether they would agree with this or not. I just think altogether the fans should just. That's why I do think they should be doing stuff like boycotting and all. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't want to see football fall apart altogether, but I couldn't support that. I just couldn't support it. Like, definitely not. Like, especially with League One, League Two, Championship teams like that there. No, I like going into the FA Cup and playing no teams like that there. You'll be playing someone like, like your Portsmouth or something like that there. Like,
And I think the boycotting thing, again, it works 20 years ago. I'm not so sure it's as easy now. And I hate to keep coming back at you, because I'm just trying to make this balanced and try to see a different side of it. But especially London, right? You've been to more United games than me, so you'll be back me up. You'll be able to answer this one when I ask you. But if I went to a Spurs game just before the lockdown last year, and the amount of people that aren't even interested in watching the match, they're just there to see a new stadium. They see the likes of Son, like Asian following. They're not interested in they might actually be die-hard fans, but they just maybe like a team that's, they're local to them. It's a great ground to go to, or it's a player they like, and they're just going to watch them. So I think it's very difficult. If all the season ticket holders just render their tickets, you'll get all these tourists on buying them, and you'll not really establish anything. I don't know. How would that work with United, do you think?
I know, well, United's fan base is madness, like, across everywhere. But do you not, like, this is what I can't understand. So if United are playing during the week in Singapore, like, they come back in, they play a fucking Premier League game in the Saturday, and how does that there even work? And then another way is too, is people from Asia and Singapore going to be flying in every week to watch United at Old Trafford? Like,
I know why. That's crazy. I know why. See, it's all money related, and this is the thing. No one cares about the players, the fans, the managers. It's all about making money, and this is the biggest thing that I can't get my head around. That's been allowed to get this bad. And as I said, this all started a long time ago. And John, you're right in saying that the Premier League's still an open competition with domestic promotions and relegations, which is basically everyone's argument with it. And I totally agree with that. But the problem that I'm saying is, from 1992, the money has really changed year on year. This has all led to this being, all these owners getting all this money, all the Premier League TV money, Sky. It's all led to this moment. The Super League's been coming for a long time in terms of, somebody trying to do this, and it's obviously been Perez at Madrid's been the figurehead behind it, and obviously Kroenke at Arsenal, Glazer at United, and Henry at Liverpool's been the three people that have supported him, and these four have really pushed for it. But I think this has all been in motion for years, and it all goes back to when all this started. All the money came on the football. And this is why we're here now. Imagine being in any of the teams on the board going behind everyone's back to do that. Never seen a bigger divide in the sport. It could get far worse. The owners will have to back down. There's no positives or the money. You're right, Aaron. It is all to do with money, and I can't find any positives really. Apart from the only positive for me would be if UEFA were to set up a better competition out of it. Other than that, I don't see it. Zach, we obviously talked about it quite a bit. You obviously don't think it's going to go ahead. One director that I wrote it down here, one director at a Premier League club has said they're 95% certain it will go ahead. One of them top 6 teams, that's anonymous, who said it, but Sky have come out with that this morning. One director said it's 95% certain to go ahead. All the clubs are on board, they're all supporting it. How worried are you that it will go ahead?
I don't know. It's nothing surprises me anymore. Like, I could see it going forward. Like, but I'm just saying, like, I just think that, I don't know, there needs to be more done about it. Like, fans have to take a stand. Like, and I know, like, you're saying, like, it might not be as easy to just do that.
Yeah.
Like, but I think it, like what is football with the fans? Like, and, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what to say. But to be honest, like, I'm just.
I know you've said you'd walk away, right? As I said before about these managers, right? It's easy to say something and mean something. No, it's easy to say something and not fall for you, right? So I'm just going to put it to you, right? The Super League comes on. United are playing Barcelona and Spain, and Barcelona. It's a semi-final, and the chance to get Liverpool in the final. Are you watching the game?
But is that Manchester United or is that Glazers FC? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you're still going to have United.
Is that Manchester versus Henry? But is it Manchester United? That's what I'm asking you. Like, is that Manchester United? Is that the Manchester United I support? Like, I'd rather like instead of me paying 50, 60 quid for a United top in the summer, I'd rather pay 50. Like, I'd rather just buy a Derry City top. Why don't we all just get behind our local teams, like, and just
Yep.
fuck the rest of them? Like,
Hey,
it's
this is
it's
what I said
careless. Like,
yesterday. This is what I said yesterday. This is the one thing that's really going to benefit, I think, is local football in every country. And not in every country, but in the UK and Ireland, they're all really going to go towards anybody that didn't go to the Brandywell before. Will be really, I think they'll be on that bandwagon now. They'll be going to the Brandywell. Derry, City, Fan Herbs, all these teams are going to benefit. More season tickets, more people looking to go to games. It'll happen across England too. I've seen boys on Twitter already saying they're going to, all these London boys that I follow are Spurs fans are going to go to watch our London teams now. And it'll be the same in every country, I think, or the same in every city between here and England. I think they'll all be doing the same. The problem is all these are countries. I'm not so sure it'll happen. But Jacob here saying no European Super League, no feeder clubs, no feeder leagues. 100%. Jacob, make sure you subscribe to the channel. First comment I've seen you from on here, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. You're also saying here that football's turned on the Marvel superhero series. The global market can't deal with certain favorite characters not having star roles for eternity. It's disgusting. That's absolutely crazy, isn't it? Great analogy that. But it is, Zach, and you're right. It is turned on to a franchise. With like Marvel, where you're seeing that it's just all money motivated. And I said to you about the Super Bowl. See when the Super Bowl's actually on, that final, how much Super Bowl do you see? There's a halftime concert on. Are we going to see United and Barcelona signing poor and Bruno Mars coming out at halftime for 20 minutes? Do you know what I mean? Is this the way we're going?
Well, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Like, I just don't know how it goes ahead, especially with the reaction I got. I thought, like, after when they're with the other saying it, I thought, right, we'll get Manchester United now coming out and backtracking. Like, that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought all the teams were just going to start backtracking. But as you say, Guy, they know they have that following in Asia and America and all things like that there, so they won't really need the UK and Ireland. Like, they fucking really. But then, like, to me, that's not Manchester United. Like, that's not Spurs. That's not Liverpool.
Yeah, I think Kirsten, who works at Maiden City, yesterday said that 95% of like United and Liverpool's followings outside the UK. And that is the big problem, that we are only a small minority here, that there's far greater populations in these other countries. And if they're going to support it and they're going to, well, it's great, they're coming to us for games and it's going to be on at a time that suits us. We're not having to get up in the middle of the night to watch the UK time. They're all going to be coming out here to us. It's going to be massive for these owners. And this is what they're going to lining their pockets, and this is what they're going to want.
But they may as well set it like the Old Trafford and set it like the Anfield and set it like the all them other stadiums and just pick them up across the seas, like, because who from here, like who from Manchester or Ireland or anything is going to be going to Singapore, like they watch United, like it's madness, like it is, it's madness. I definitely will not be watching it if it turns on that, like I won't be. Like,
Jacob, full marks for your comment there. I really enjoyed that. Really good analogy. Owen Kelly saying if this Super League goes ahead, it will be held all over the globe. And then I am done with supporting Liverpool because how will we keep up with the time slots? It's just money now. It's terrible. The one thing I would say about it as well, right, Zach, and you will know this before we get into Owen's comment here. I'll put it back up on the screen in a minute. Do you mind, like, it was a couple of years ago, the Premier League were on about having a 39th game at the end of the season in a different country. So again, they flirted with this idea of going to a different country for one game at the end of the season every year. It was called a 39th game. Most of the clubs all said not yet. But again, they were interested in doing something like this. So I think it's very hypocritical for them to be condemning this completely because they'll be all over it. Sky as well. See, these companies, if they can get anywhere near it and it's popular in different countries, they'll be all over it. And that's the problem I have. It's very hypocritical. I understand fans. Fans can say what they want because fans haven't been involved in anything like this. But all these TV companies, the Premier League itself, UEFA, FIFA, they're all guilty of stuff they've done in the past. So I find it very hypocritical for them all coming out now and condemning something like this.
I don't really have anything against like having a 39th game and showcasing it somewhere, like bringing the Premier League abroad, like, and maybe doing one game at the end of the season, doing something like that there. That's not really a problem for me, like, because like at the end of the day, it'd be nice for the Premier League to go across the season maybe for one match and people abroad then to go and watch it. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how the people from Asia and is going to be coming on to Manchester and all every week to watch United. Like, it doesn't.
The only problem with that's Zach, right? If they did say do that for one game, when does one game become two games? and 2 games become 3 games, and 3 games become 4 games, and then you start going down a slippery slope of, well, let's play the first half of the season in England, and then the other half of the season will be all over the world. And this is the problem that I have with it, that if you do that with 1 game, all of a sudden you'll have more countries looking to do it. And I mean, call me old-fashioned, right? But I just love the idea of the Premier League at the moment. I love the way it is, and I don't want anything changed. If anything, I just want the Champions League and Europa League changed and the different competitions. They make them a bit more competitive throughout the competition instead of having to wait to the quarterfinals to get proper games. That's the only thing I would change. Apart from that, I think football's fine the way it is. How do you feel?
I know I'm saying I do. I think like why fix on that's not.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like who was even complaining about football? Like the way it was set up, like it was grand. Some people might complain, oh, Man City have more money or Man United have more money or something like that there. Like, but at the end of the day, like maybe not Man City as such, like, but United deserve they have that money. Like we are a massive club globally. Like Liverpool and all is the same as well. Like we deserve they have like that financial backing. Like it's, do you know what I mean? We do like.
See, this is the problem now. The owners have completely come on with their big money and they've bankrolled these teams, and now they're going to be trying to globalize, trying to turn it into massive in our countries. They're not necessarily. They think that the English fans are that loyal. It not matter where the games are played. But this is the biggest stand English football fans have ever made, and if they keep going, it puts them on a really difficult position. I think it was Carragher said last night that Liverpool will try and run the owners out this week. But it's very difficult to do that. As we know, we've seen Newcastle been doing that for years. We Mike Ashley, they can't get him out. As Doug will know, Arsenal really can't stand Kroenke. They still can't get him out. Ryan Hamilton saying no seeded. I'm not sure what he means if he's on with the Champions League. I think there is seedings for the first few games of it, so you're still going to see really poor games at the start. Jacob's back on again. Jacob's on fire this morning. This is why we should have caps. This is why Chelsea's owners should not own huge chunks of clubs like PSV as well. The game's been all for about 20 years, 100%. And hopefully what this is return to football, as accelerate the return to football and brilliance. Jacob, we're going to have to get you on here with all these comments you're putting on, so give me a message. Jamie Noonan saying, I'm not saying I'm for the ESL, the Super League, before everyone jumps on me, but there's still a lot of room to iron out details on the Super League. You've just said you don't like the new CL revamp, and the Champions League has declined with teams like Krasnodar and Midtjylland, etc. And the Europa League has become an absolute joke, and the clubs don't even want to qualify for it. So maybe there's an opportunity to have 2 top quality European competitions. 100%, Zach, or Jamie. So Zach, just on that, I think that's more or less what me and you were saying, that we don't necessarily agree that the Champions League and the Europa League is all at the moment, and we think there's a lot to be done with them competitions to make them more competitive, just like Jamie's saying. So again, I think people are more upset at the morals behind the Super League, and that there's no qualification for it, and it's going to really impact the integrity of our competitions. But there is a little bit of it that you would like, in terms of, can we get these teams playing each other more often? So surely now they can all get around the table, and I think more. There's two things to this. The Super League, obviously, I think teams like Real Madrid are really interested in it. I think other teams are just joined it, like Spurs, like Man City, just because they're feared of being left behind. So I think if you can get all these teams around the table and say, look, this is what we want. This is what we want you to do, UEFA. We want you to make a better competition for all these top teams. Then there might be some common ground, and we can work from there. So would you like to see that being done?
Well, why don't you just do something like do the ESL, like the way the fucking Euros and the World Cup and all's done, like do it every 4 years, go out to a certain country, let them big teams play each other for a few weeks, and then just like do it something like that there. Just, I don't know, I don't mind the Champions League and the Europa League the way it is at the moment, like, to be honest. Like I'm whatever I said earlier, I don't know, but I like the way it is at the moment. Like I do think there is a competitive nature, and it's good the way like a team like Midtjylland or Krasnodar can get on it. And like, like that's what football's about, dreaming. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you want them wee teams, they maybe like a shock story, like Leicester won the Premier League or something like that. There, do you know what I mean? I don't really. Like, I can understand it. I can understand that there's a competitive. You have to have a competitive nature too. Like, but I don't know. Like, I like the underdog story too. Like, do you know what I mean? I like that there. That's what I'm about.
Don't worry, I'm going to get through all your comments as well. There's loads of people posting on here. I'm trying to get through them all. I will get through them all before we get off. Where are we at? Jacob's back on again. Jacob's saying small clubs are guilty too. They get desperate and sell their big assets to the big clubs. So if Hampton and Leicester have been particularly particularly guilty of doing this in recent years. That's another thing too, that the first big sign of big money, they sell their best players, so almost they don't really care about improving as a club. They're more interested in making money. Callum saying rumors of an English side getting cold feet and could be pulling out, according to Sky. I seen Cavi posted on Twitter just before I come on that some of these, I think Arsenal, United, and Liverpool were really, really behind it. City, Chelsea, and Spurs almost joined it because they're feared of being left out of it, and that they are now saying that they might not be totally behind it because of the public outcry. But this is the problem, Isaac. Who's going to balk first? Will it be a team? Will it be UEFA? Will they just say, "Oh, we're going to try and sort something"? Will it be FIFA to step on? Will we see the Premier League go, well, if you're joining that, you'll still play in the Premier League? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think a club will balk first, or one of these governing bodies will balk first and change how it's going to impact?
If United's not the first, they pull away from it. I will be absolutely raging if United's not the first team they go on and just pull themselves out of that, because we don't need a European Super League. They make money like maybe the MR clubs might, or I don't even think Liverpool would need it either. But United don't need a European Super League. They make money. Why? I just can't understand it. I genuinely don't understand. But they need to start. It needs to start coming out quicker than it is. It feels like it's going very slow. I know it only happened Sunday, but I think it should already happen. But I think teams should have been just retracting their statements and their views.
I think if one team comes out and does it, they'll be accommodated, because it's going to take like all to come out and do it. If you're on your own,
I'm not being stubborn or arrogant. But United is the biggest club, so we should be the ones they go and say, right, let's pull this. And I think if Saja Club of United came in and says, no, look, we're not happy this year, I think he wouldn't belong in seeing any other teams following Liverpool or Arsenal or Chelsea, or else you had Liverpool come out first and do it. Liverpool or United, for me, have to be one of the two teams they come out and
I can't see Real Madrid doing it because they're really behind it. And to be honest, Liverpool, United, and Arsenal, they are three teams really behind it in terms of their owners. Not saying their fans. Their owners were the three that instigate it with Perez. So that makes me think they won't. At the end of the day, it'll have to be the owner that backtracks, and I just can't see it happening because he's been so fundamental in setting it up. I think it could be one of the other teams that come out and make a stand. But if Spurs come out and do it, will they really be that bothered? Will they just say, we'll find another team? I think it has to be a top team. They do it. I think it has to be a Real Madrid or United or Liverpool or Arsenal. I think it has to be one of them. They do it. So it's and I just don't see it happening. And this is where we are, Zach, unfortunately. Ryan Hamilton saying that just seen on Sky, 14 teams from the Premier League are meeting now. Do you know anything about this? Yes. They are 14 teams have had an emergency meeting today with Richard Scudamore about what they're going to do with the top 6 teams. And apparently what's going to happen is they're going to try and kick them out from next season on, I think. So who knows what's going to happen? I don't think the Premier, and this is the thing, Zach, right? See if the Super League goes ahead. Do you think the Premier League will kick these teams out? Is the Premier League going to be able to continue without these big teams? Do you think they'll be forced to backtrack?
Well, you're asking me would I watch the Premier League with Man United in it? No, you know what I mean. So I think they definitely have to. I think they have to retract. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. What do you do? Do you start them off what do you do? Start them 6 teams off next year with a minus 15 to 20 points or something like that? There, what do you do? Do you know what I mean?
There'll have to be some sort of punishment, but then I don't think there will be. I think that there'll be some sort of agreement. I just do not see how the Premier League can survive without the top 6 teams on it. I just don't see it, because I think it was a report I seen 75% of the fans across the world are from them top 6 teams. More so United and Liverpool. Them other big clubs have big followings too, and I just do not see how it would survive without them. And this is the thing: you've seen that Brighton and Everton have come out and really condemned them. But so far, we're yet to see anything in terms of points deductions, or you're definitely being kicked out. There's rumours of it, but I haven't seen anything happen, and I don't think they can survive it.
Them all 14 teams too. The reason they're in the Premier League, Old Trafford, Anfield, or Emirates, and they want to go away and play them big teams. Do you know what I mean? The survival of the Premier League for me is essential. Them teams on it, do you know what I mean? They need to be on it, But
Jacob saying they would rather make cash than push for football dynasty. That's sickening. And Kevin's saying that Wenger predicted this in 2009. I think somebody said that yesterday. Yeah, he's saying it's been coming for years. And he's saying we should all get behind the red and white army. Darius Little Footy is saying, my screen's freezing. There's not many comments coming up. He's saying this has been coming for a while, lads, and it shouldn't be a surprise. Yes, you were texting me last night, Mark, saying that so much this has been coming for years and years and years, and the football D's been dead for a long time. Dean's saying that 2 elite European competitions should be made. If you look at the Champions League and the Super League, no team wants to be in the Europa League playing on a Thursday, which is true. You know, you look at Liverpool fans; they don't want to be. If they're not in the top 4, they don't want to be in the Europa League. So again, that tells you everything that's wrong with the Europa League. That nobody wants to be in it. So surely the UEFA have to do something about that and try and make these competitions more competitive. He's saying he thinks it's a real power struggle. Big clubs making a dig to UEFA and FIFA to renegotiate the allocation of funds to bigger clubs from European competitions. I totally agree with that as well. Decky's saying if Spurs weren't on the Super League, everyone would be happy. You don't think Spurs deserve to be on it then, Decky? I can see. I don't think anybody wants to be on it. That's the main thing. But it is strange that you see Spurs haven't won a league for 60 years and they're invited on it. Arsenal haven't won the Champions League before, they're on it. Man City haven't won the Champions League before, they're on it. AC Milan haven't been in the Champions League for a long time. You know, United beat them easily in the Europa League, they're on it. So it seems to be these super clubs that are rich are going to be the ones that are invited to it. He's also saying the Premier League will still need these teams. Punishment should be given, but the league will never last with these 6 teams. Basically, what you were saying, Zach.
Yeah, 100%.
Just to finish off, how do you think it's going to end? How do you think by the end of the week we'll have more clarity, or do you think this is going to run all throughout the summer?
I don't know, because I want to look forward to the United match now the weekend. Like, do you know what I mean? Like Jesus
and
Christ.
That's my next topic, Zach.
The first what? What's that?
Go ahead, but that's my next topic. I want to chat to you about that. Go ahead, give me your closing thoughts, and then I'm going to ask you a question about that.
I don't know. Like, I just want to watch football. Like, in the back of my head, going, does this mean something or does it not mean something? Like, I feel like United's done well this season to get where we are. Like, when the semi-final now Europa League, and obviously I want to win the Champions League, but we have a trophy we can win, and we're sitting second in the league. Maybe make a wee title race. You never know. Like, you never know what could happen. Like in the last 6
I've seen as well that UEFA are meeting on Friday, and there's a possibility that the English teams and anyone that's involved in the Super League could be chucked out of this year's competition. So that would leave Chelsea, Man City, and Real Madrid being put into the Champions League, and Arsenal and Man United being put into the Europa League. There's also a possibility they're saying that could happen on Friday. Whether that happens or not, that's going to be very interesting. Because if that does happen, I'll tell you what, that's going to cause real divide. The fans are going to be fuming that they're so close to winning a competition, they're put out of it. But Zach, as you were saying there, you're just looking to enjoy a match, right? Yesterday, no one was talking about Leeds or Liverpool that match, right? No one was even talking about Mourinho getting sacked, which we're going to get into as well, and that would have made massive mainstream news. Everyone was at the start of the week. I said the game of the weekend is going to be Leeds against Liverpool. I was really looking forward to it. 2 teams that were going to go at each other. No one even seen Monday Night Football last night. They didn't do any build up to the game really because there was so much to talk about with the Super League. And it almost felt that the game was secondary, which is obviously something that we can never stand for. You know, it's the football's all about the match, all about the game, all about the players. And it just seems to be, if it's not the Super League, we're talking about VAR, we're talking about referees. Everything at the minute, football seems to be coming last. And the game itself, all right, it was decent, but I didn't think it was great. And Leeds did push in the second half, and Liverpool, more to the fact that I thought Liverpool were very poor in the second half, their intensity dropped. And then they got that goal at the end, and there didn't seem to be any real celebration from Leeds. Didn't really be seen to be any too much disappointment from Liverpool. Almost because the fact that if that game had happened without all this Super League talk, Liverpool players might have been on their knees at the thought top 4 could be calm. You know, it's a massive blow to them. But I think it was James Pearce from Liverpool, one of Liverpool's journalists, said that strange night. Who knows what that means? You know, if you set up your own league, you'll not have to worry about Champions League football. So is that the biggest concern at the minute? That now as we go towards we always say that the best part of the season is always the very end of it, April and May. That no one actually knows what any results mean anymore, and you know what football's going to look like in the near future. Is that the biggest concern for you?
There's what's annoying me at the minute, Gary, to be honest, because like I just don't know what does it mean. Like as you say, like Liverpool, like obviously I hit Liverpool, like, and I'm getting a good sweat with Emmons, maybe not getting a Champions League football. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, and then now I'm just going, well, what does it even matter now? Like, because even if they don't get it, they still might get it with this new. But like when I don't know, it's happened so fast. Like to me, like, because I was there and like something like this is going to happen. This is just to me, it just came out of nowhere. Like. So I'm
Yep.
just like, what's going on? Like, and like now United play Leeds on Monday, and Sunday or Monday. I'm not sure when it is.
Sunday. Yeah.
Sunday, and I'm like, well, like what's going on? Like, because what if we ended up making everybody start slipping up? Like, am I going to get excited? Like, what's happening here? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think
I
that's
don't
the uncertainty around. It's going to make the integrity be questioned of the league as
know.
well, and that no one actually knows what's going to happen. And it could end up being a really really poor end of the season, so meaningless that no one knows what's happening. I mean, I thought that game last night lacked emotion, passion, just didn't feel like a
Mm,
proper game. I even think that
mm,
the Carragher and Neville summed that up. That they didn't really want to be talking about all that Super League stuff, but they had to because it was so big. That the game
mm,
really became secondary. And this is where we are at the minute. That Chelsea are playing Brighton tonight. Spurs are playing
mm,
Southampton tomorrow. Villa are playing Man City. Leicester, West Brom Thursday. And then if you look at the weekend, obviously Leeds are playing United, but Man City are playing Spurs in a cup final. You know, and the lead up to a cup final, we're going to have all this over it. That
mm,
what does that even mean? And going into that game on Sunday now, my mood's really different in terms of all right, I'll be buzzing. But the whole lead up to a final that week, you be buzzing. You can't wait. You can't stop talking about it. But I haven't even mentioned the final at all, really, apart from
no.
the odd sentence here and there. Whereas
Well, I'm not
the whole lead up to a
like
final, you be talking about it all the time.
this season. Like, I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of what we have this season. Like, and because like I don't want to. I sat for a full season, highs and lows. Like, I just want to enjoy the rest of the season. Like, watch United or Arsenal, whoever possibly won the Europa League, whoever goes on, they won the Champions League. Whatever way the Premier League ends up, the Capital One Cup. I want to like even for a neutral, like I'd still enjoy that game on Sunday. Do you know what I mean? Like that it will be on. Like I'd still watch it. Like so, I just want to enjoy the rest of the season. Like for Zach.
Dean's saying Liverpool's always on
Christmas.
your mind. Liverpool's always on your mind. Klopp speaking out his views against the owners. Do you know what? I'll tell you, you should go back to Zach's podcast in November, right? He said that Liverpool wouldn't finish in the top four. Apparently he's talking a very smart prediction. So, people laugh at you, Zach, and you did I say United were in the title race too, and they're only 8 points behind now, so you haven't been too wrong. Callum saying that thoughts on Neville saying they should scrap the finals since the clubs don't care about English football. Again, conflict of interest for me. I'm not going to answer that too much. Zach, what do you think about that? Do you think the final on Sunday should be scrapped?
No, you deserve to be on it. Like, do you know what I mean? You played your matches, you deserve to be on it. I don't think it should be scrapped at all. I think they should just go ahead with the season. At the end of the day, it's not the players and the manager that's behind this. Do you know what I mean? The players and the manager at the start of the season obviously said out they won every competition that they want that they're on. So
Yeah.
why just turn around on Sunday, scrap a final when the players and the managers have worked so hard to get the final? Like it's the owners like that. I just don't think the players and the managers should be getting the backlash. Like I would definitely be going to have a final because it's not the players and the managers' responsibility. Do you know what I mean? Because even if they do, even if like say Man City or Spurs do win this on Sunday, who are they going to be? Who are they going to be praising? The owners. They're going to be praising the players and the manager. Like so, I would be
Yeah.
going ahead with final.
Right, fair enough. This won't happen. Dara saying this won't happen. Clubs are on the verge of pulling out allegedly. Chelsea and City more than likely this will all die down again. As you said, I think these are English teams were feared of being left behind. That's why they signed up. I think Man City were actually the last. They only signed up on Saturday before the announcement was made on Sunday. My dad's saying Liverpool and Chelsea would still qualify for the Champions League this year if their league position's finished as it is now, if the new Champions League rules were introduced this season. So there you go.
So what's a new Champions League rule? And they're going to be allowed like top five.
No, I think it's because he's saying here because of their UEFA coefficient they're on about as well, changing that the wild card thing they're on about, from 2024 that there'll be wild card spots for teams with high coefficient ranking. So again, that points to what we're saying about the integrity of the league. Teams that finish 6th or 7th could still get on it. And again, I still think that whilst the Super League isn't what we all want, UEFA really need to do something about this Champions League and Europa League because it's really, really poor at the minute. And I think this is all a result all right, there is the point of the owners as well looking to make money, but I do think that it's being pushed as well because the fact that they're so fed up with UEFA and how their competitions are run. Decky Harley's saying, what about the Ryan missing appointment for the big final? And that's the last time we're going to talk about it. It's just on my sheet here. Zach, obviously going to give you a chance to talk about this. You're not a big fan of Mourinho, so you obviously thought of Spurs. You told me it would never work, and obviously it hasn't. So are you surprised if you're not surprised that Mourinho being sacked?
No, sure, we've been talking about it. I just know, I just think he comes in at the start and he gets a bit of points because he does great results. Starts falling out with players and he starts undermining the team. Like that thing he says, they asked him, what was it they said to him? Why is it when your team's normally lead, they can normally hold on to lead? Why is it now that they don't? Same coach, different players that there. He's just a disaster waiting to happen. If you ask me, I'm not.
Are you surprised? Are you surprised the Spurs have sacked him?
Not shocked at all.
The final. Are you surprised at the timing of it, but that he's been sacked before the final, not the end of the season?
I was thinking about that yesterday when I heard his sack, but then I was thinking then if he did win that trophy in, he might have a wee bit of leverage.
Yeah.
Maybe they get next season. I think Daniel Levy's done the right thing and acted straight away. They say you're not just if you won a trophy, I'm not going to just let you sit on So I think that's why he's made the decision now.
Whilst that could have been on his mind, I do think it was more the fact that I don't think Levy thinks they have a chance in the final on Sunday with Mourinho, and that's why they've done it now. Because that's all Spurs have left to play for. And as Decky said, Ryan Misson's been appointed until the end of the season. A real fairy tale story for a player that had to retire early. Pochettino spoke very highly of him. He done a bit of coaching with him when he brought him back into the club after his skull fracture with Hull after he recovered, and he's been at the club since working. Who knows how good or how lowly developed he could be. It's 6 games plus the final, but that's the big one. If he goes and wins his final, Zach, he's a Spurs legend after only a couple of games. Do you think that it's possible that Spurs could win the game on Sunday?
Aye, because I think Man City starting to lose a plot. That's what I'm hoping for. Obviously, I'm a wee bit like United flankers on me, but I don't know. I fancy a wee surprise in the title race, and then Spurs have world class players, so we can't see why they couldn't win the final.
Do you think that there'll be an atmosphere lifted off the club, and that all that negativity will be, it's a cup final, chance they want a trophy, and they'll probably play a lot more expansive and a lot more free flowing, and it might suit the players better, and that they have a much better chance. Not that they'll win it, but they've got a much better chance now going on this Sunday.
I agree. Yeah, at the end of the day, anybody with Sean and Kane in their team, going to cause an our team.
Yep.
Balling it and said final, it's a one-off game. Why not? Man City, on their day too, they can't be beat. So, definitely, I give Spurs every chance. You probably don't think Spurs have a chance, but
I think they've got a better chance. I do think they've got a better chance now, and Decky saying it cost a fortune. Said they double usual sacking fee. I think it was agreed at 15 million. Decky. That was what I read yesterday. But I could be wrong. Emma saying Mourinho will probably get the Portugal job next. Can't see him back in the Premier League. No big club would take him with his outdated style of football. Completely agree. I think that's it. I don't think we'll see him at another big club in England. I just don't see it happening anymore. I think he will be resigned to international football. The way he plays just does not suit most players anymore. But look, we're going to leave it there. Fascinating. From your insight, Zach. Really, really good story. I mean, you're a football man like me, and just to see you're absolutely heartbroken at the thought of the Super League coming on, and it's United 100%. Won't be on anymore on a Tuesday night at 7:45. They'll be on at 4 in the morning over in Singapore somewhere, and this is what football's about. Look, everyone that's watching, Niall Logue's going to be on here on Thursday at 7:00. He's going to be broadcasting from America, so obviously a time difference. So we're doing it at 7:00 on Thursday night. I think it's about 12:00 his time. I'll be asking him about this Super League stuff. He's a USL footballer in America. What his thoughts are about it. So we'll get an insight on what a player thinks. We'll also be talking about his career, what it's like to play in America, what the American fans maybe think about the Premier League and stuff. We'll ask him loads. So if he's here, make sure to tune in that. There will be a really, really good one. Just before we go, Dean's just saying Mourinho's using his old tactics, leaving key players out, unrest for the squad, speaks out publicly. against his players. He's got money to spend at Spurs where Poch didn't. Son's interview spoke volumes. 100% Dean. Zach, thanks for coming on. You'll be back in a few weeks' time for the United Liverpool podcast. Who knows what that means, though? Who knows what that means? That might not mean anything at all. But hopefully we can put it aside for that one podcast. It's still United Liverpool. There'll still be something to do that with that weekend with a game. Who knows? United could still be going for the league. Liverpool might still be fighting for top 4, but who even knows what that means anymore? Friday, we're going to have Jamie Noonan on for the Man City and Spurs League Cup final podcast, and then on Saturday as well, hoping to get a bit of a Spurs special with 3 top Spurs men. 2 of them are family members, and another one as well known to Derry. So that'll be a crack as well. So you'll hear all about our lead up, all about our stories of supporting Spurs and the disappointments that's been over the years and stuff like that there. So will be a good crack. Zach, thanks very much, and I'll see. I think it's the 30th of April for that podcast. Liverpool Man United. Good man. Hey, thanks very much.
Cheers.